You can start your.
Record, he talks about the way Jewish people got
It's going down like this, motherfucker.
I can hear your soundboard too, nigga.
I can hear you. I don't know if everybody else can hear you.
Yeah, everybody else should be able to hear me.
Okay, let
Just
me
start
see.
and then
Yep,
just ask them if they
yep,
can hear me.
yep. I can hear you.
Is the bar moving?
Yeah, so you must be
If no,
talk
if the
again.
bar on Streamlabs is moving when I talk, then
Oh,
they can
okay.
hear
There
me.
you go.
Yo,
Okay,
yo, yo.
you're in Bluetooth. Okay, you're coming through in Bluetooth.
No, I'm not.
That's on
I'm
my
not talking
board.
about on your goddamn mixer. Your mixer has nothing to do with it.
That's where I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you
Yeah,
on the
yeah. I'm
mixer.
talking about on Streamlabs. Is the bar moving when I talk?
No,
All right, then scroll down a little bit.
from where?
That bar I just made you scroll down. Scroll down a little bit. See, do 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 do.
All right.
Yo.
Yep.
They should be able to hear me. Just start your live and then ask.
I think everybody can hear you. I can hear you, so I know everybody can hear you.
Okay, then yeah. So you understand how to drag someone in, right?
Yeah.
Who you're having join is already in the Discord.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody else comes in there on the Discord, they can come in there. So
Whoever joins, they have to be in the Discord.
okay.
And if they're not in the Discord, tell them it's in your it's on your homepage of your YouTube. It's in the description of your YouTube channel, like on the homepage.
Okay. Anything you want to philosophize while you're live?
Oh, I'm live right now?
I think so.
I'm trying to figure out how to put it on speaker. Why can't I go on speaker? Hold up. I'm trying to figure out how to put it on speaker.
Okay. Let me start.
Yes,
let me get the get started. Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything I want to philosophize.
All right.
I might join back later.
Okay. All right.
All right, Pops.
See you.
See ya.
This shit is crazy.
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was horn. Hump, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Say that, nigga. Shit. Bet the bar, off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog need. Slop Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
I like it. So.
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and...
This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying.
I just left a lot in this bitch. I'm finna hit the shop in this shit.
Fuck up. Move the fuck back.
Hey, where are the white women at?
I'm trying to told you just with her man. No, her mind is fucked.
Hey, where are the white women at?
I'm trying to told you just with her man.
Hey, where are the white women at?
I'm trying to told you just with her man. No, her mind is fucked.
Hey, where are the white women at?
I'm trying to told you. 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 I'm trying to told you.
Well. Gotta get a piece of mind.
Your feet. He looked down, seen his feet. The nigga went berserk. Killed the monkey. Threw the bat out the window. Start kicking that bitch in the air.
Say anyway, but I will. The way quantum entanglement works is that you can take two particles, quantum entangle them, and then take those two particles and move them at any distance in the cosmos. And let's just say, for example, if you quantum entangle two electrons and you have them spinning in the same direction, and then you take one of those electrons and you shoot that thing out 100,000 light years from the original. If you then rotate the spin on the one electron, if you modify it so that its spin changes, the quantum entangled electron at any distance will simultaneously in no time switch its rotation also, because they're quantum entangled. So these communication systems are taking advantage of this aspect of quantum mechanics that most people can't wrap their heads around, and this is what they're utilizing. It's just the new level of science that affords us the ability to communicate at any distance instantaneously. Can you?
You don't understand. It's cool enough just being cool, like I am, chilling.
Group of you together, you never can tell who's who. I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it.
Plus, I'm in love with a bitch I can't stand.
I mean, TikTok. A lot of the white content creators on TikTok get all of their dances from the black content creators.
You're a philosopher? You're a philosopher? Yeah. You're a philosopher? You're a philosopher? Yeah. You're a philosopher? Yeah. You're a philosopher? I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
Dance with me. Dance with me. Dance with me. Dance with me.
You got to pray to God and tell God your rent due. Any God that didn't know your rent was due ain't God. Damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama. And you decent white folk that still don't know they're racist. What the hell you want here, hunky?
Don't know me want it. I don't mean to be out of line.
What's all that noise? 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 Oh, that's his daddy.
Your lines are still open. Oh shit, you can get it, nigga. You wanna get it?
Come with baggage, just I asked Louis was on.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that was nice.
I like that.
Bitch niggas, hoe niggas, rich niggas, broke bitch. I told niggas this was on, yeah, right.
The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass.
I think we OD.
For my word, can't be my equal, don't know what you heard.
Yeah.
For my word.
That's the difference when you're my baby.
You got.
Use a snort cocaine, now I fiend for the check, yeah. Use a snort cocaine, now I fiend for the check, yeah.
Like I said, you go to the history of European civilizations. 250 years is how long they last before they implode because of their greed, because of their violence, because of an inability to let others be, including themselves. If they didn't have brown and black people to hate, they would hate themselves.
Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come. I hit the loot juice. It pulls up in the deuce. Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come in. I hit the loot juice. It pulls up in the deuce. Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come. I hit the loot juice. It pulls up in the deuce.
Do that dance, baby, do that dance, let's work it out.
Slapping folks is satisfying. She don't like me, but I didn't know. Guess it was underlined.
Lean and walk, lean, walk, lean, walk, lean.
to the east, to the north, to the west, to the south, above, below, and the middle. Greetings. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins, and I am that one and only galactic daddy-o welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. I think that's my cue to come in. All right. And you know when I come in hot. Or in this case, extremely cold. And part of this whole experience is we should be able to share something together. And everybody knows my favorite ambrosia is Elliot Nest by Great Lakes. The can is cool. I guess that's the better way to show it. So pop them if you got them. Now, I've said before, I like the cans throwing them away. Because when I listen to all them couple cases that got thrown away in my trash today, all them bottles, but it foams up too much. And that's a carbonation problem. See, the bottles don't tend to, and that's better. This is the best I've got today. But cheers. Join me, please. Whatever is your fancy to drink. And I'm waiting for waiting for this to percolate. So while this percolates, I hope I find everybody in good mood and gets good spirits. It's been a lot going on this past day. Huh. This is interesting. See where I want to start with this. But yeah, so a lot going on, some obvious stories. But my first stop, well, again, this is the Luca, Unicorn Luca. Smoke them if you want them. All right. Let me see. It's funny stories tonight. It's kind of some funny stories. I want to lead with this story. Let me see. It's so many good stories. I don't want to lose all the good stories. A lot of times. It's just funny stories. I guess, I guess the most obvious thing today is, of course, that OJ passed. And it's interesting, we each should, how should I say it? again, OJ was in the generation, like probably the first generation of superstar that was that was able to take his talent beyond. I mean, one thing they always said about OJ, he was one take OJ. Like OJ would hit his cues every time. And so if you look at in my growing up experience, um, experience in his rookie year, and I mean they went after him. They went after him his rookie year. I've said before, I had a poster of him his rookie year, and he wore 36 in the preseason. And I had that poster for years, and I was like, oh, this poster can be worth something someday because it's 36. Because that was the first poster they came. Sports Illustrated took a picture of him in preseason, and Sports Illustrated was the one that sent out the posters. My Lynn Barney poster was the sweetest. It showed that nigga fair catching, looking up in the air with his sweet Detroit. But and of course, you know, I had OJ jersey. I had OJ jersey, the white. As I said before, like what made him special far as ability wise was he was one of the few players that you would see that could actually run forward. Like he would be running forward, but he would be able to turn his shoulders. Like he could actually run forward, and to get away from would-be tacklers, he could turn sideways. Like he could turn his shoulders sideways. So there's less for him to grab and still be running full speed. And a lot of people, you know, a lot of people didn't have those. I mean, he was one of the few that had that ability. And he wasn't a little dude. I mean, he's my height back then. You know, back then, you know, he was big as Jim Brown, bigger, probably a little taller than Jim Brown. So this guy was not only fast, but he was strong as well. And you know, he's the only player in 14 games that rushed 2,000 yards. Now remember, Jim Brown ran 1,800 yards in 12 games. OJ ran 2,000 yards in 14 games, which no one has done. Far as that's just being the end of the games. Now, it might be some people in the extended season that has reached that, but I don't think so. I think he's the only one in 14 games to gain 2,000 yards. As far as the other things, as I was talking about last night, the way I kind of ended, again, actors. You know, when we have actors, what do you expect? I mean, because if you looked at everything that OJ had a series that was what was it, got 2 years? He was gonna be some kind of special ops. There was a special ops series he was already locked into. His TV show was about to come on before all the stuff that happened later. You know, it was about to come on. And then we know, again, they're all actors. They're all part of Hollywood. So it's nothing we can really believe. Was it two knives? There were two other men seen running from the scene. Two different knives. I mean, it was a bunch of different, again, to take your attention away. But the most fucked up thing it did, again, they want to disrupt. They want to always, and they want to always the race card. They want to always push that race thing, and it truly changed things again. It really made the Eurasians not like the melanated people, and it made the melanated people not like the Eurasians anymore. And so, and every so many years, they would flare this back up. They would flare this sore back up. Every so many years, they would flare that sore back up. Now, I see Killer of the Flower Moon a little different. It shows the history of murder that this country was based on. Control, murder, pass laws to benefit one side, pass laws to steal from people. So yeah, that's the what I call the Gipper. See the Gipper pass laws to benefit Eurasians. Okay? So you make stealing legal. And that's what this show shows. So but all you can say is it embarrasses Eurasians. That's all you can say. It embarrasses Eurasians. That's all you can say. So it ain't quite that. So OJ was a whole thing that was pretty fake. him going to jail over some stupid shit is pretty fake. I mean, all that. What was like they say, so you know, sometime when famous people go to jail, if you ask people that was in jail in the same prison, they'll tell you they might not never saw the person. So how do you really know they were there? You don't. And the other possibility is, did they give this man radiation? Because let me tell you a personal story. My uncle, you know, the shots made us keloid. And you see that shit? Where is it? Yeah. So the vaccinations, this is, you know, when I got vaccinated, I think it was only 3 shots. And this is what it did to my skin. All right. I've had this since a baby. All right. And so my uncle's was worse. My uncle got vaccinated. And when my uncle and my mom got vaccinated, it was only one shot, I think. Children only got 1 shot. And that 1 shot did what my arm did, but worse. So my aunt had the bright idea of taking him somewhere, and they thought that if they did radiation on his keloid, it might cure him. Well, again, it gave him cancer because he ended up getting cancer. He was a dude, he never smoked, light drinker. I mean, really light drinker. And ended up getting, I think it was cheek cancer, throat cancer a little bit. And then, you know, what he was getting, he ended up getting about 100 grand from a doctor because he cut his larynx, cut his vocal cords. So they can give you cancer. You know, they can give you cancer. They can expose you to radiation. You can eat radiation. So, you know, it's all a story, but it's all a story to make people not trust one another. That's the bottom thing, to make people not trust one another. So, all right, let's see who we got in the pocket. Who's in the pocket today? Joey, thank you for joining. Yeah, I know when I started, I had the audio off. I was talking to my son, so I had the audio off when I started.
Got to have vision.
All right. Water Walking Jesus. Thank you for joining. And
Got to have vision.
Liquid Fire, Jody. Oh, you changed it to Jody. Thank you for joining.
Got to have vision.
And my main man from Saipan, PJ Allen. And I never have to worry about him.
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
You can control your bitches. Oh, that is just the pimp talk. But welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. And you know where we hold the show when y'all get on that electric car, you know, and ride up to the Galactic Patio, because I am that one and only Galactic Daddy. And there's only one dance we do. But there's only one rule.
Don't touch my truck.
Leave that F-150 Lightning alone, because it's powering the whole place. But if you do, thank you, Sly Stone and Woodstock. All right. Water Walking Jesus. Didn't somebody steal OJ's head out of the Hall of Fame? I remember going to the Hall of Fame years ago in Canton, and when I was there, OJ's head was missing. They said somebody stole it. I've never heard that before. And I've said I've been to the Hall of Fame 5 times in the 70s. That's the last time. That's how long ago it's been. But it was. Now it's different now than what it used to be, because when I went in the 70s, it was individual drawings of action with the person. So when you went to where the heads was, the heads had a drawing above. They got rid of that. Now it's just like they do like the Romans. They just got all the heads lined up. Huh, that's interesting. And you know, I like in the TV show, they tried to show that he had a statue of himself in the back. And man, you talking about his pension? What was those numbers of the pension he was getting? Because again, his pension was asset protected, which, you know, if if you make big bread, it's a good idea to get asset protected. I was watching something, Bricklayer. No, I was watching Equalizer. They're talking about bearer bonds. And again, bearer bonds is the way, it's only certain states bearer bonds are legal. But bearer bonds is a way to say, hey, I don't own this shit. My mama own it. Because the holder of the bond actually owns that property that the bond is issued, or for the money on it, or what it's issued for. So yeah. Yeah. So, but I mean, it doesn't take away anything that he did on the field. I was looking at a picture of him when he went to San Francisco because he wanted to retire from where he was from. And the picture was so sad. I mean, if you looked at his legs, like if you looked at his knees even then, and I'm like looking at these knees, and he hurt his knee his rookie year. He played on a horrible team. Think about it like this. This is because I don't think the league, let me get this right. What Super Bowl was it? Super Bowl 69. They were separate. 70 when the Colts. Yeah, so that's when the merger was. The merger was in 70. Now, OJ got drafted. I think it was OJ was 68. No, 69, 70, I think was OJ's rookie year. And again, this is an AFL, one of the poorer teams going, and they got accepted to the NFL. Look at their old field. And Buffalo wasn't, I mean, it was a great football town, but the weather sucked. The weather sucked. You right on Lake Erie? You right on Lake Erie? I mean, it sucked. And so his early years, he was targeted. But, going to seeing that picture of his last year in San Francisco and looking at his knees and thinking, damn, how could you possibly, knowing injuries. And I'm just thinking, wow, how did you even run at all? And that's the biggest problem with people saying that he did what he did was his physical condition. And one thing that you can say, well, maybe he was sandbagging, but one thing that he didn't sandbag, and he didn't do it for the camera, is when they go to the play. He goes to the son's play. The son's jumps in his arms, or a daughter's play, I forget. But his son jumped into his arms and almost knocked him down. Now, he wasn't acting when he did that. That's how bad, because you could see the grimace. Like when he took on the son's weight, you could just see the grimace in him because it hurt his legs. So he wasn't a very strong man. So that's the biggest point. OJ's death was a ritual. Yeah, definitely a ritual. I mean, we got the NBA stuff. We just got through the NCAA. The NBA is about to wrap, they're about to start. So yeah, it's a sports ritual for sure. Was the better between healthy OJ and Walter Payton? Mr. To You, thank you for joining. Sorry.
Got to have vision.
I'll say it in a way, it's kind of, I guess it even goes into, like Gale Sayers. I rate Gale Sayers #1 because of elusiveness. So now if we're saying who was more elusive, was OJ more elusive than Walter Payton? Absolutely. He was faster than Walter Payton. He was a much bigger man. But OJ was kind of like a little bit like Barry Sanders. You don't see a lot of screen passes with OJ. Again, we'd have to look at the film of his block, and he wasn't really known for that either. I mean, Walter Payton was a more complete football player, threw a couple touchdowns. Gale Sayers did too, so they always had that play. But elusiveness, OJ got him beat. And Walter Payton never ran 2,000 yards. And again, they were contemporaries, and Walter Payton never did what OJ did. And again, until they won the Super Bowl, Walter Payton didn't play on very good teams either. So who would I rank higher? The better running back was OJ. He was a better running back. The better football player was Walter Payton. So I guess that's the way I would break the two down. The better running back is OJ, but if you looked at between the two, who was a better football player, it'd definitely be Walter Payton, because Walter Payton would block, pass block, you know. Catch passes out the end zone, catch passes out the backfield, throw passes. More of a complete football player. OJ was a better running back, though. And again, they were contemporaries. Walter Payton was in the league, wasn't he? Let me see. Walter Payton didn't go in the league until my freshman year. 70s, yeah, I guess, yeah. But Walter Payton, I think, did play in some 14, yeah, because Walter Payton was, let me see, when I was a freshman, Walter Payton was a senior at Jackson State. When I was a freshman in high school, Walter Payton was a senior at Jackson State. So Walter Payton, that would have been 76, 75, 76. So Walter Payton's rookie year must have been 76, 77. So they were contemporaries later. 72 is when OJ, wasn't it 72 when OJ rushed for 2,000 yards? So I don't even know if they were contemporaries now I think about it. So that's my only way to answer that. Shadow banning channels, yeah, they do that, a lot of that. I've seen a lot of YouTube channels today saying their viewers are getting notifications. YouTube probably switching something up. Saying that their viewers not getting notifications. Yeah, a little bit of that. Well, you know how I always do it. I like showing the weather up here. The weather is such a thing. And it's really beautiful up here. Right now it's 44 degrees. Saturday is going to be damn near 80. So it's pickleball. I'm getting up early Saturday and playing pickleball. I don't do shows on Friday. So I'm going to get up early and go play in the morning. That's what I'll do. I'm going to try to play tomorrow too. And if I don't stay up too late tonight, I might go play in them tomorrow. Just hit with somebody. Do a little running and stuff, trying to get my wind up. But yeah, I'm gonna play early Saturday. I might even play early Sunday and maybe even Monday. Looks like it's rain, and then it'll get a little cooler next week. Look at this. Look how much cooler to get. So we get the coats back out. But that's all right. May is coming. And I can get, so that's something I always like to show. And something that just caught my eye. I mean, this shit just caught my eye. Like I'm trying to tell you, like you can, again, gold is a great buy. Look at this, 2,400. So right now, if you are wearing gold, and gold is different than silver because the gold you wear is the same gold that trades. All right, it's the same gold that trades. Doesn't matter if it's 10, 14, 18, it trades. So it's the same gold that trades compared to sterling does not trade. They do not trade in sterling, they trade in pure. So again, your gold is worth more. Oh, my poor Ford is down, GM is down. United Steel is down. What? The market was up today, though. It closed up. The Dow was down slightly. But the S&P was up. Let me see, NASDAQ was up. So, yeah, Ford took a hit. Where are we at with, so again, I don't, Bitcoin is 71,000, y'all. And it had dropped, remember, it had dropped to early, low 60s. So, again, Amazon, Ethereum dropped a little to 30. It's down to 3,500, but still it's a easy to get into. So your gold is, if you look at your gold and say it's worth more right now, it's worth more. So if you have to sell it or you're trying to trade, you're trading with greater value. And that's, to me, that's what jury's all about, is just getting better and better pieces. That's what it's about, is just getting better and better pieces all the time. Now, I found this story funny. This story is funny. Transgender boxer knocked out in 21 seconds but releases defiant statement. The transgender boxer Patrico Manuel was released a statement confirming that he would continue boxing despite suffering the first round loss of his professional career. He was a 5-time U.S. amateur champion before undergoing gender reassignment nearly a decade ago and suffered a surprise defeat to Joshua Reyes. Why they put the 3 names in there? He had became the first transgender man to box professionally in 18. Okay. And has been unbeaten and had been unbeaten before taking on Reyes. Despite the early defeat, he has promised to continue. So dude whooped his ass. Now, fairly, they look about the same size. They look about, is these ponies? What kind of shoes are these? They must be Nike. Got Nike socks on. It's a risk we take when we step in the ring. What's exciting, but I refuse to bow my head. Okay, popping dude. This ain't the same. It's two different guys, or is it? Yeah, this looks like two different people. Let me see. I don't think that's talking about it. So I just thought that was an interesting story. He got his ass kicked, but they're letting him go at it. So this is or OJ. I started out with the morbid news, but the beast was hungry today. So the beast was really hungry. K-pop singer songwriter Park Boram found dead at 30. How? A breakout TV competition star who parlayed her powerful vocals into a decade in the K-pop industry died Tuesday, April 11th, according to confirmation from her record label in Korea. Police are currently investigating what killed her. Park's agency Zandu Entertainment shared the news. The star was reportedly working on new music as releasing two new songs this year. She first impacted K-pop at 17, competing in 2000 series Superstar K2, a high school student with the love of R&B music, becoming one of the youngest finalists, finishing in 8th place. She made her official debut in 2014, single Beautiful, featuring popular rapper Zico, which peaked number 2 at the Korean local awards or local charts. Won her Artist of the Year honor, the Chop Type song. Wait a minute. What is this? Local singles chart won her. Okay. And won her Artist of the Year for the charts top song of August in 2014. The track and music video is notably semi-biographical and dealing with Park's links to be beautiful, including exercise, extreme diet to lose 70 pounds. Ahead of her debut, she was released her first in 15, which included Beautiful, as title track. This is the chick. During her decade of singing, was known for impactful contribution to Korean drama soundtracks like Hey, What You Doing, I guess, or Samu Dog for the K-drama, which has boasted more than 16 million. Spotify, or Please Say Something, even though I know it's a lie. Soundtrack is nearly 12 million. So, different artists. So, Park collaborated with a range of different artists in Korea, including songwriter Eric Nam, boy band Park K-young, balladeer Park Jae-jung, and rapper Little Boy. Little Boy. Okay. And just this past February, she united with the winner of K2 vocalist for the duo I Hope. Released a single I Missed You in April as part of a project. So, she drank from the beast's glass, and the beast came calling. And you knew OJ was going to die during the season of something. You just knew it. You knew it was good. It had to be something, but because ain't OJ been on podcasts and shit? But he probably was, I don't want this right now. He probably was fed radiation in prison. I wouldn't doubt it. Another part of the morbid news, was these playoffs coming, and we have a dude named Edgar Berkson, Emmy-winning young Indiana Jones film editor. So he didn't even take a full; he just got a sip of it. He just looked at it, but he was in their business and he accepted the cup. So handled visual effects for The Hunt for Red October and Die Hard 2. Won an Emmy for editing the pilot, The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. Okay? We don't really care what else he did because it doesn't sound too interesting. There's my man from the SIP, Lorenzo.
Got to have vision.
Thank you for joining me, brother. Thank you for joining me. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope everything's been smooth down there. Okay. Now I've got this Discord open and my son's supposed to come back on, so him and I might chat. I know he's going for some kind of record in the games he's playing. He's over at his mom's, so she came and picked him up, and his mom is doing better. So I'm so happy she's doing better. I can see OJ's death being where Caleb Williams getting the #1 pick. That's something I kind of thought of too. I kind of thought of that too. Yep. Yep. Yeah. That is too obvious. That's a good point though. He was on it. He was on it. What it was with Cam and Mace. He didn't look right on the last couple of episodes he was on. Okay. Sumo Wrestler. Hey, James Gant. Thank you.
You got to have vision.
Sumo Wrestler. Okay, maybe I'll find that one. I was looking at my show from last night, and that dude who got ran over, that shit still had me rolling. Who is this now? This is something I didn't hear about. And I don't really count this. I don't know. It's certain college that they took the drink. He was one of the best receivers, in Indiana history dead. One of the best receivers in the history of Indiana football, Jade Butcher, passed away. Assistant athletic director, alumni relations, praised Butcher and his achievement. He's presented the former Hoosier Jade Butcher with the Associates 50-Year Award. There was a few athletes in the history of Indiana that all have to mention their first name, and everybody knows who you're talking about. Yeah. Butcher was part of the famous B.I.G. trio, which consisted of Butcher, John Isenberg, and Harry Gonzo. Jade also starred in the Hoosiers' 67 Rose Bowl team. Okay. Heading to college, Butcher has offers from Notre Dame and Purdue to continue playing his career. There was no doubt Butcher's mind he wanted to stay home and play for Indiana with his friend and assistant coach, Howard Brown. At Indiana, Butcher served an anchor for one of the best offenses in the school's history while settling records that are still standing today. Jay ended his career as a Hoosier with 116 receptions, 1,800 yards, and 30 touchdowns, even though he only played 3 years. Yes, freshmen were not eligible. When he graduated in 1969, he held the records for most receptions, receiving yards, and touchdown total points. Since then, all 3 records have been broken. However, his name remains scattered across the record book. Jaden remains one of the only 3 top receivers in history to average at least 16 yards a catch. He was named first team All Big Ten and was an All-American his senior year. That means he can go into the College Football Hall of Fame. He also led the Big Ten in catches and yards in 68, receiving touchdowns in 67 and 68. He was drafted by the Falcons. However, he eventually returned. He's 147, so he got drafted real low. This is probably 3rd round. He eventually returned to Indiana, where he completed a degree and started working at the university. So this must be him. He's sweet. Had the sweet there. Had a little bit of the socks. He had the tape for the sweatbands. No sweatbands. Looked like he just had them taped. But he's wearing Gale Sayers' number, which is interesting. So maybe they're going to show a little bit of him. Got a bullshit ad. Let's see if they'll show some of him. Oh, there he is. Damn, this nigga hooped too? Damn, he must have hooped too. Shoot the J. I thought he played football though. Oh, Hoosiers. You know, in the movie Hoosiers, Oscar Robertson's brother played in that team that the Hoosiers beat. And then when Oscar Robertson went to school, they won. So I love the story. Okay, I'm sorry, old boy. Didn't play in the NFL, was offered a job at the university, and he said, hey, NFL ain't my thing. The money wasn't good. Why get beat up? And to me, that's smart. That's smart. It wasn't for everybody. It's not for everybody. Now, this dude, yeah, they going after this guy. They're really going after this guy. I've been kind of keeping my eye on this. Kansas City wide receiver continues to be in hot water for his involvement in multi-vehicle accident. The six-vehicle accident involved a Lamborghini that was leased at 23, the second pick. The Dallas department was initially seeking Rice in connection with the accident. Now we have more information. Rice, who is representing Rice, an attorney, confirmed last week his client acknowledged investigation that he was driving the Lamborghini SUV involved in a multi-vehicle crash. So now he faces 6 counts of collision involving bodily injury, 1 count of collision, serious injury, 1 count of aggravated assault. That's going to get thrown out. Not known how much jail time is facing, but it's a serious situation. Yeah, I don't think any jail time. I don't think he'll get any jail time for this. With the law restatement, blah, blah, blah. I don't think he'll get any jail time for this. Why? He got in a car crash. Now, if he wasn't drunk driving, what else can they do if he wasn't drunk driving? Can you dig it? So I don't think he'll get in any trouble for that. But we'll see. I think it's bread. I just saw this story now. Check this out. And you know, motherfucker would take this. Olympic wrestler Frank Chamizo says he rejected $300,000 bribe to throw a qualifying match. Why not? Why not take that bread? Why wouldn't you take the bread? And something that's fixed anyway. So this is cap. World champion, Olympic bronze medalist said he rejected a $300,000 to throw a match during last week's European wrestling qualification tournament in Baca Azbarain, a Cuban national who competes for Italy, ended up losing to for a controversial late call. With the score tied at 8-8, he scored 2 points that would have won him the match and allowed him to qualify for the Paris Olympics. The judge awarded him the points, but they would later be overturned after a challenge from the other guys. In post, Schumer attributed the decision to the group bribed and corrupt people. The decision gave a win to who is from the local country, making further claims corruption in the tournament. Now I know I had to give double, triple because I was fighting their country and they bought everyone. So I want to say they came to me and offered me $300,000 to lose. I didn't want to say who, but it happened on the morning they weighed in. So, wowzer. Let's see where I'm at. Okay, let me catch up. Yep, USC and Heisman winners. Rice, as you say it, has drank from the Beast Cup. Hey, Jamar, thank you for joining me.
Got to have vision.
So I don't know. This is cap because you could have got that bread and you lost anyway, and you probably had some kind of thoughts that it was some corruption going around. So yeah. Now, oh, here he is. Yeah. This is what Brother James brought up. Hawaiian-born Japan sumo legend Taro Akambono dies, who drove a resurgence in the he's only 54. Became its first foreign grand champion, has died of heart failure at 54. Damn. Passed away in hospital earlier this month. A towering figure in the sport, literally and figuratively. He was 462 pounds, but he was 6'6". Was famous for his unique style of fighting that often saw him thrust his opponent out of the ring. On both sides of the Pacific, sports figures, fellow sumo wrestlers paid tribute to him. He had been suffering an illness since collapsing in the city of Kashido 7 years ago. Wow. Born Chad Roman, he grew up in Kuhulu Mountains of Honolulu before moving to Japan at 88 to pursue his dream. With 6 years, he would become the 64th Yukama, or Grand Champion, honor which the sumo wrestler had previously ruled was off limits to non-Japanese. As well as breaking barriers, his devotion to the sport saw his opportunities skyrocket. And won him respect of local fans. He makes me forget he is a foreigner because he's earned an attitude towards sumo. During his career, he went on to claim 11 more championships while bringing millions of viewers from around the world. His famous ride with the Japanese brothers Takana and Koi and Masura Honda. I thought they was brothers. The brothers don't have the same last names. Widely credited as breathing fresh life. In 96 became a naturalized Japanese citizen, taking the name Takuro Abakano. When he retired wrestling in 01 due to repeated knee injuries, over 11,000 attended his ceremony. A tribute Tuesday. It was so sudden I cannot come with words to send him. So wow. Why would a 54-year-old man, I mean, that's a lot of weight, but still you would think he would be able to handle that weight. So wow. Sorry to hear that. What is this? This is debauchery. So what does this say here? This is a little bit of debauchery. Teen fatally stabbed protecting girlfriend from boys following her. A 14-year-old Wyoming was fatally stabbed on Sunday trying to protect his girlfriend and her friend from two teenage boys who were following them around the mall. Bobby Meyer was identified as a family friend on GoFundMe as a victim who allegedly killed following a confrontation with two 15-year-old boys in East Ridge. So there's the East Ridge. Like why is that tough there? According to documents cited, one of the boys was charged with murder, conspiracy to commit murder, aggravated assault and battery, and theft. The other 15-year-old boy was charged with conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, aggravated assault, and battery. Misdemeanor theft charge. Both have been charged as adults. Wow. He was found by police officers who were responding to a report of an unconscious juvenile outside the mall at 1 p.m. Saturday. The boy had been stabbed twice. Several adults at the mall began rendering first aid. Meyer's friend told officers that his girlfriend called him to say that two teen boys were following her and her girlfriend around the mall. Meyer told his girlfriend they were going to the mall to keep the girls safe. The friend told officers that two boys were walking in front of the girls, and when they arrived there, they were trying to get them out of the mall. As they were walking out, Merler kept telling the boys to leave, but once they made it outside, one of the teens slammed him on the ground, then the other stabbed him with a kitchen-style knife. Damn. Everything happened so quickly. Suspect identified as Dominique Antonio Richard Harris, probably a nigga, or Mexican. It's kind of hard to say, but it could be a nigga. And Giraffe. Now this is Joseph Sebastian Plunkett. Giraffe? I don't know. That's a Eurasian. I don't know. Police were led to the two suspects after interviewing witnesses. The suspect allegedly confesses they stole knives from Target prior, so they killed him with Target knives. Allegedly told detectives never threw a punch during the incident. Wow. Then why would you kill him with a kitchen knife? Like, how did that hatred come? Sound like they was kind of possessed to me. Why would you just kill like that? Well, first of all, why are you fucking with the girls? That's the first thing. Why are you messing with them? This goes in the debauchery news. As far as let's see. Founder of cybersecurity startup dies after being struck by SUV. How do you get hit by a car, lady? 3 days after she is struck by a luxury SUV as it sped through the streets of New York. One night, Sophia was walking about a half a block away from her apartment when she was hit by a Land Rover, which then crashed head on to a taxi, another parked vehicle. She was, okay, how? I just don't get that. How did you get hit? So this sounds like a hit. This definitely sounds like a hit. Hang Hand, thank you for joining.
Got to have vision.
Thank you for joining. So yeah, that was a hit. Somebody wanted that lady dead. It ain't every day you just get hit by a car. Michael J. Fox says Hollywood was tougher than the 80s. Yeah, all the abuse he probably had to suffer. I kind of like this. I think I read yesterday about they're going to let teams have new uniforms, and they're showing possibility to the Broncos. It says new uniform won't include any new or updated logos, but this is sweet. This is real sweet if the Broncos did that. Let me see if they show a picture of what they're coming up with. Let's see. Oh, just wasting our time. Watch that bullshit for a couple seconds. Okay, so this is not really real, but it looks sweet. Are the possibilities? If something like this would look sweet, it would look sweet. And remember, they got the Devil Bronco in front of their airport. PJ, have you ever flown into Denver? Don't they got the Devil Bronco in front of the airport? They got a bunch of weird shit in that airport in Denver. Man, it's funny. I took my shorts back. And I bought, I think I bought 2 pairs of shorts, and 1 pair of shorts was on the extra large rack. Brought them home, they was medium. So I bought another pair to replace them, and I bought the same pair of shorts that I already got. But that's okay. They was only both like $14. So I'm gonna keep them. I can use them both. I can use them both. So, and I got a case for this phone. That's about the only thing I bought today. I got a case for the motherfucker. So didn't really go shopping for nothing. It wasn't really nothing at the outlet. I didn't see any shoes. I'll say this though, Ghana's shoes are like $30. Like if you have a child and you want to buy them some summer shoes, go to the outlet and get them a pair of Ghana's. I think Ghana's shoes are like $30 right now at the outlet. So if you want to buy a young person some good shoes that last them the summer, Ghana's are like 30, 34, 35 bucks. And you might go look on the ones where they have the half boxes and might find them even cheaper. But Ghana shoes, you know, those shoes are you know, they're affordable shoes. You know, they're affordable shoes. So, all right. Excuse me. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. There ain't nothing real about that. Like it says, Fox's Lawrence Jones. They got the nigga from Fox to reflect on OJ. Come on, we don't need that shit. I did go into Converse, and Converse has some. They're starting to get those weapons in. It was one that wasn't a weapon, but it had the strap on top. But they might, you know, Nike owns Converse, so that Converse might be a nice little summer outfit to wear. The old Chucks. But they call it the weapon, which, you know, I used to call it Dr. J's. And for a while, they called it the Dr. J's because I had the Dr. J outfit, the sweatbands, I had the shoes. Because they tried to, you know, push Dr. J the way Jordan was being pushed, and it didn't work. It did not work. There is a highlight tonight that I wanted to show. I'm pretty sure I listened to it. I want to find it. I'm going to find it. Right here. You know, we've been covering this bullshit.
No matter where.
We've been covering this. And today, this nigga, the jury said what it was. So I'll play that while I go pee. All right, here we go.
Of first-degree reckless homicide as submitted.
Nikolai Mew found guilty of homicide and reckless endangerment today. It was unclear how long the jury would deliberate.
Nikolai Mew.
All right, here we go. This is the guy, the Apple River stabbing. So this is the outcome. Give me about 30 seconds to go pee.
Guilty of first-degree reckless homicide as submitted.
Nikolai Mew found guilty of homicide and reckless endangerment today. It was unclear how long the jury would deliberate. Days, maybe weeks. Turns out it only took hours to reach that verdict coming down this morning.
Our Rob Olson was there in the room as the verdict was read, and the reaction also came out. He joins us live outside the courtroom tonight. So, Rob, take us through the moments leading up to reading that decision.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the jury hadn't been out long yesterday afternoon, and just a couple of hours this morning when we got word that something was coming, and everybody gathered outside the courtroom and then in the courtroom for a pretty obviously emotional moment for the family and friends of Isaac Schumann and those others that were stabbed in this. Now, the jury did not rule on the higher charges on first and second degree intentional murder, first and second degree intentional attempted murder. The district attorney explaining that doesn't mean they found him not guilty of those. It just means that they couldn't agree and move down the list to reckless homicide and reckless endangerment.
It's been 21 months we've been waiting for justice for Isaac Michael Schumann, and we got it today.
Donnie Hernandez voiced the raw emotions for a large group of family and friends of 17-year-old Isaac Schumann, who was fatally stabbed in July of 2022.
So I just want to tell everybody I appreciate all your love and support. And
overwhelmed still by the mix of grief from his loss and the satisfaction of what they had just witnessed in court.
The jury finds Nikolai Mew guilty of first-degree reckless homicide as submitted.
54-year-old Nikolai Mew found guilty of reckless homicide in the Apple River stabbings that killed Schumann, and guilty of recklessly endangering others for the stabbing injuries of 4 more. Guilty of battery as well, meaning the jury believed he did throw the first punch that began the entire physical confrontation.
When we looked at all the evidence, it seemed clear to us that he was angry, that he wasn't afraid.
The St. Croix district attorney believes the key evidence is Mew shown lying on body camera about even being involved, lying during the jail interview about having a knife, that if he was truly defending himself from an assault, he wouldn't have tried to hide it.
You know, after he stabbed all these people, he walked away. He ditched his knife, didn't tell his group anything, and then he tried to get away.
The jury did not agree that he intended to kill, which were the higher charges, but they rejected self-defense. Mew's twin brother saying their family had nothing to share at this point.
Not at this time. Not at this time. Thank you, sir.
Surprised, respectfully disappointed.
Mew's defense attorneys believing the self-defense case was solid, saying that Mew is truly sorry.
He continues to feel those feelings. He's sad, obviously disappointed in the result, and contemplating his future life.
Now, the sentencing has yet to be set. There's a pre-sentence investigation that will now begin, so the sentencing would be within the next couple of months. The district attorney says by his math, if you add up all the penalties from all the guilty verdicts here, it's about 97 years in prison. Of course, that's up to the judge's discretion about what he hands down, but again, a significant penalty. Live in Hudson.
Yeah, that's his ass. And he, he didn't have to do it. He did not have to hurt those people. He was in 2 foot of water. So he did not have to hurt those people. You can be drowned in 2 foot of water, but he wasn't pressed. And he came up with the knife. And a lot of times, if you have a knife and they don't, people will back away from you. It's like think about it like this. If a dog just gets away and you pull a gun on a dog, dogs normally stop. I've pulled gun on several dogs and they seem to understand that fear, you ain't got any fear. And they like, why ain't he afraid? And I've had dogs really stop when I pulled guns out. And so that's the same thing with a knife. If you fucking with people that ain't got a knife and ain't really what is the word I'm looking for? Trained. To be able to you're not trained to defend a knife. So yeah, he had to go. He definitely was guilty of the motherfucker. And it's a shame. It's a cry. It's a cry and a shame. But justice was definitely served in that instance. So it's also sad, it's a sad kind of deal too. It's a sad kind of deal. I think that was it. That's all I had from him. I'm still seeing this all day. I've been looking at this motherfucker on the road with a chick that ran him over, and he's like all ran over and shit. Let me see. I don't even know how I can throw this story in. I don't even know. I don't know if it's worth even a mention. I'll hold that story. I won't share it. So that's all I really had to cover today. Let you know the dude got convicted. But yeah, it was really it's funny going to the outlet. I gotta take my daughter because she wants some of them little shirts with the little polos on them. Take her there, and then I got Mother's Day coming up. So Mother's Day is coming, and now my wife is a mother. She's a stepmother, so she's still a mother. So she gets to celebrate Mother's Day for the first time. So I look forward to that. And I was looking out there, looking at some stuff I can get her, and then I got to get my mother something. Maybe send my stepmother, maybe send her a card with her evil ass. My stepmother is quite evil. And it's like, what's interesting is if you looked at her evil is hidden. Her evil is hidden, and her evil is only in really one direction. Now, I can't say that she does evil to other people, but she's definitely done evil to me and my family that lives with me. She's been evil towards. And, that shit don't even end because, it's like, this chick is a millionaire, no doubt. I don't want shit from them. I don't need shit from them. You dig? She's bought my daughter's mother's 2 cars, but yet can't send my children here Christmas gifts. Again, people don't like the truth. Because, sometimes the only way you can get back at motherfuckers is writing shit that's the truth. And so I put it out there, out in the social media about how fucked up they were. And I don't mean fucked up in a bad way, but I'm like, look, bitch, your husband cheated on you for 20-some years. You motherfucking babysitted his illegitimate child at the time. Everybody in the town knew. And you trying to judge me? Look at yourself. And that broke both of their feelings. That hurt their feelings. And I've said before, now my father is losing, he's going through whatever. And it's payback to his ass too, because my father was a very narcissistic person. He was a narcissistic person. He was what do you call it when they're liars? I mean, he is a liar, like beyond liars. Like when I talk about football, I got a whole scrapbook over there. Niggas sending me pictures I ain't even seen. And that picture right there, that's me. My father never achieved that. He never went to college and played football. Yeah, he graduated from college, but the shit he lied about, he never experienced. And the last time me and the nigga talked, I've said this many times, the nigga talked about he had world-class speed. Where? Niggas that have world-class speed, there's some record of it. Habitual liar, but he was a habitual liar, especially on what he did in sports. He habitually lied about himself. He told my son he went to Iowa when Connie Hawkins was there. No, that was a guy named Vic Davis, right? Victor Davis. He got a full scholarship to Iowa, not my father. I was born when they graduated, my father was working in the wine factory in Paw Paw. So he's telling my son that I was at Iowa and I played football at Iowa. No, nigga, you didn't. You was in Paw Paw working with my relatives that in the off season, all of them worked in the wine factory. But here's the nigga that done told this lie. The nigga only competed and he didn't even compete in the state level. This nigga was a high school conference track person. That's it. A high school conference track person. That's it. Never went to the Penn relays, never made state. But yet this nigga want to tell people he had world-class speed. There should be some record of that. But see, when a motherfucker tell a lie for so long, it's just natural for them just to lie. And that's a habitual liar. And that's the kind of nigga he was. So, Jeffrey, what's happening? Thank you.
You got to have vision.
I have a question, Time Lord. People are saying that the sun simulator was behind the moon instead of the real sun. How would a sun simulator work? How could it hang something like that? You know, I'm not really sure, but they have a long time of being able to send up satellites, being able to send up balloons. And I've said this before, this was probably the summer of 18. I actually saw both suns, or the sun and the simulator. I saw the sun, and then I saw another sun pass behind that sun. So, we can tell. I mean, the simulator, when you see more of a white sun, that appears to be the simulator. Again, the sun should have a sun is almost like the rainbow in some ways. It's more of a yellowish hue, but you can see like rainbows off the sun. So to say how, I don't know. I mean, how did they get the moon up there? You know, if you follow the Anunnaki story, they try to tell you that Talamat. It was funny. I was watching some movie, and Talamat was the name of Earth. That's what the Sumerians called our planet. They called our planet Talamat. I was watching three body problem called something Talamat. And Talamat is what they say. And, Stinch's work, he says that, Planet X and Nibiru ran into Earth and the moon. Now, the moon is fake. The moon is fake. And even the people that show the slow motion, the time elapsed of the moon, they never stopped the moon and say, let's look at it from this side. Like, it makes no sense that we only see one. I'm 60 years old and only see one side of it. And how can it be that consistent that in North America, unless we have a telescope and time delay this motherfucker, that we can see the other side? I mean, how is it that in all of the world, we only see one picture every night when it comes up? Now, it can come this way, it can go that way, but yet we can't see the other side. So only one side is lit to us. So that makes no sense, and we know that it's some kind of simulator. It's simulated too. It's some kind of satellite they put up there. As some people say, is it a soul collector that helps reincarnation? Very well could. Do you think much changed with eclipse? I was saying before, I was thinking about going over to the mounds, but it was kind of rainy and nasty, so it was, that's all grass and shit over there. So didn't end up making it, but no, I didn't really feel any of the energy. I'll say that. I meditate. Like, I didn't get a chance to meditate today. Had to do some things, but I meditated yesterday, the day before, and the day before. And I meditated on the day that it happened. Can't really say that anything was really open. Not to say things were blocked, but it was nothing that appeared to open up for me, at least. And I'm very, if there's an energy thing that I can tap into, I regularly tap into it. But to me, it was nothing to tap into. So, I didn't feel anything. So, it's definitely seen two suns before. That simulator sun be so harsh. Well, it's remember, it's more white. It's more white, and it becomes closer. And that's something like the simulator gets closer than the other sun, and that's something growing up. That's something growing up I never saw, is the sun appearing so close and so big in the sky. Never saw that before. So when you see the sun really close, that's the simulator. That's the simulator. Yeah, so it's two things up there. It's definitely two things up there. Again, I personally have seen two suns. And it's like, most things are alive. Like I saw lightning hit, and I saw a type of lightning beam. Like I saw, like the moment it hit, it was a beam that was basically about 14 or 15 feet. That it like before it hit, it didn't hit like, how they do lightning in ridges. It looked like how can I describe it? It was a silver-like beam that had a head shape, but the body was straight down. So it's like a head, but it had square, then straight down. So it was some kind of beam that hit that was lightning. But I saw it. The moment it hit, it wasn't like it was something else that hit. It didn't look like what they say. Like it wasn't a lightning bolt. What I saw was not a lightning bolt. It was a type of some type of it appeared to be a beam more than a bolt. If that makes sense. Okay, I'll break that down. Who put the simulator up there? The government or aliens? You know, we can't even say. Again, we don't. Wow. And I'm only hesitating because of this. You can break through what's really real in this reality. And so, as I said before, reality is layers like an onion or like a cabbage or like lettuce where you can just peel it, peel it, peel it. So there was a bean, and everything we feel and see and all the dimensions come off this one bean. All the realities that's out there come off this one bean. So it's many different layers. To just say what layer and what technology they were able to do this, it's hard to say. And again, if this is all a simulation, we know how they do simulations like a video game. So if you really look at advanced technology, it's hard for us to even fathom how they would do it. So that's my only way to say, because we know the Big Bang that comes from the Catholic Church. See, the Catholic Church came up with the idea of Big Bang. They got Carl Sagan to push it. There's no Big Bang. What did they tried to pivot and say, what do they call it? Creative design. They pivoted and called it creative design. So they don't know. They don't know. But it appears like now there was, they when they try to tie Talumat into it, they say that's what created the what do they call it? The field of all the rocks and shit, whatever you call that, was why they couldn't go into space because it's too many meteorites. So they try to say that's, blew off the moon. They try to say the moon was part of the earth. But again, it doesn't appear like, it seems like a very stagnant thing. And if I can only see all sides of it during time lapse, that makes me even be more weary of it. Because at some point in our life, from some angle, we should be able to see another side, where the whole night is just the other side lit up. But again, they call it the dark side of the moon because they're hiding it from us. So I can't answer. I don't know. I'll say I don't know. What if the moon and the sun are just holograms, simulates that we're in somebody else's video game, probably different species watching over us? I've definitely seen some glitches in the sky that don't make sense. Yeah, I saw. I'll tell you, the weirdest thing I saw was I saw the lake in the sky, and I'm not talking about a reflection. It was such a mistake. Where I couldn't see the lake, but yet I saw the lake in the sky. So that's what I'm gonna tell you. It's like this reality makes a lot of mistakes. And I caught it. Because again, everything you see, like really you have to operate like this. Nothing exists. Like what's outside of there, I know my wife's over there, but actually she's not over there. Like the rest of the house, what's under me is really, it only exists when you see it. It's just like protons. They only move when you watch them. You can run them experiments all day, and that's the gist of the double slit experiment. If you're not watching them, they ain't gonna do shit. If you just turn that motherfucker on and you ain't watching, you just recording, but you're not watching it, them motherfuckers ain't gonna do shit. They'll just go through the same thing. But when you watching and you got your pen and paper and timing them, then they start going through the other way. The double slit, as they call it. So that goes to reality. It's like it only exists when you see it. Even though you know it's a building or houses next to you, but really it only exists when you see it. So that's kind of the way the reality is. It's like when you drive, even when you fly, the shit appears like a video game. You know, the video game, you go, you drive it and it's like I'll say driving is the easiest way to explain that. The further you drive, when you drive, you see this. You see it like a video game, the way the new landscape appears. you see that they have years of practice to put that into place. But that's, you get the same kind of thing. It's like it only exists when you see it, and that's our reality. So, what are your thoughts on? Oh, okay. Let me say three. I'm sorry. Three body problem. So it's interesting, and the Chinese was mad at the motherfucker because they make the Chinese look ignorant. They make the Chinese look like they're from the Stone Age when what's his name, Mao Zedong, Mao Zedong. When Mao Zedong came in power and he beat the American back Chiang Kai-shek. We see Chiang Kai-shek as a character in who is giving American Gangster. We see Chiang Kai-shek went to Taiwan and he was selling heroin because his army. Because what you have to understand, during World War II, Mao had an army and Shek had an army, and they were fighting the Japanese together. So after Japan is defeated, you have the Russians kind of backing Mao, Jewish faith people too, and then you have the Americans backing Chiang Kai-shek, and Shek lost. The Americans lost that one. They lost China. And so, they start off where they kill. They show that they kill the intellectuals. They're killing the professor. And a lot of the Chinese people aren't very happy because, again, motherfuckers don't want to learn their history where they kill the smart people. That's the way it makes it look. You have a bunch of thugs and a bunch of rogues, and they're killing the educated people. And it reminds you of what was done in the French Revolution. So that's how it starts out. So the young girl that's the main character, she was educated. She had published a couple papers and she was a scientist herself. And so they torture her a little bit, but then they start using her. And they start using her for communications. And what she finds out is that she can communicate with aliens if she uses the sun. So she bounces a message off the sun, and then the message gets to the aliens. And she's mad because the way her mother and father were done. Now her mother turns on her father, and then she watches her father get stomped to death in front of everyone. Again, reading Miles' little book, and if you watch Fred Hampton, he always talks about Miles' little red book, which really comes from Jewish faith people. Communism comes from Jewish faith people. They like that control. So the story kind of bounces all around. A couple people die from a countdown. So what the aliens were able to do, aliens were able to send like a little probe that could watch everything, and it could send out some holograms. And what it did is it sent, like it's funny with the Google kind of goggles, they send a thing like that and it puts you in a simulation where they can kind of. And what the point becomes is trying to save all these different nations, all these different universes. And what has happened is the aliens' universe was destroyed, and they're trying to get the humans to help save it, see if they can save it. Well, their universe was destroyed, so they're coming to our world. Now, some of the people went crazy seeing the countdown. This chick invents some shit. Oh man, this one chick, she's invents some shit. And again, what's interesting is the girl starts the communication. So the Chinese girl starts the communication with the aliens. The aliens put the countdown on people, but the aliens have people already being, what do you call them? Treason against the human race, because they've already got people working for them. So they've got a group of, they've infiltrated humans, and humans are working for the aliens that are coming. All right. But this one sister that she was doing some shit that the aliens was very scared of. And then there's one part where the guy who was the main traitor for the aliens, he was like, well, we lie, humans lie. And there's like, oh, the aliens didn't know nothing about lying. So they kind of hold that against the human. But this bitch invents some shit that she can send a wave, and when she send a wave at their ass, it slices everything. So she invents some shit that just starts She sends that wave at people, and it just starts like they're all on this big ship. All the alien treason people are on one big ship. They got their children, everything. She sends some shit that cuts everything in two. First, it just goes in and finds all the biological beings and slices them in two. And then it starts slicing this big ass like a battleship, this big battleship, and it slices that shit in. I mean, it's some bad shit she created, and it fucks the aliens up. So then they try, again, it's a group of people. It's a group of young people that all work together. One dude's dying. They send his brain in space. They say that what they want to do is send atomic bombs to help propel his brain in space. But of course, that fails. And he's just lost in space again. The aliens are going to find him some kind of way, because what they did is they're going to make a part two. And that's the most disappointing part. But let me try to keep on what's going. So, they're fighting the aliens, and the aliens not being there because it's going to take them 400 years to come to the world. But this group of friends all start working together. Like I said, the one guy's mind is sent in space, his brain is sent in space, and hopefully the aliens will work with him. They were they were both trying to learn from each other. It really was kind of juggled while they sent him out. But the most important part of the movie was the original lady that sent the message and the brother. There's a brother in the movie. He's a type of scientist. But the brother gets a clue, and she tells him a joke on how Einstein got kicked in the balls, and there was something else that happened. So he gets a clue, and then they want to kill him. And so my mother was saying, whatever the clue is, I didn't get it. I'm not gonna lie. The clue, why he was special. At one point he was gonna say, I'm a nigga. That's why that's why the aliens want me, because he's technically the only nigga in the movie. But it's funny that you could see that's what he wanted to say. There's like, why do they want you? And he says, I think I know. And he's talking about, well, I'm a nigga, so that's why. But there's some. My mother was saying there's some kind of clue he gets. So he gets a clue. That's why they try to kill him. In the end, their last ditch experiment. But it's interesting, kind of. And then the guy who plays on Doctor Strange, the Oriental-like dude, the chubbier dude on Doctor Strange, he's working for the modern kind of, because it's kind of 7 layers of who's working, but he's working for the now. And he's ends up protecting the black dude. So again, it's set up for a part 2. I don't know. So that's the best I can explain it. Big Pontiac, have you heard people talk about the castle in the sky? Not the movie, but some of sort of ancient castle. I'll break down. Well, yeah, I'll break that down. It's more than that. El Dorado, Shangri-La. I've told you the story about the original beings that came from what's called oil. Those are the beings that first was able to, when the land started forming, they really kind of started retreating. And once the land and the rocks came in, especially the first rocks, they were soft and alive. They were closer to the planet then. But once the oxygen came in, that pretty much killed that civilization, because people don't understand that. And that makes you wonder where oxygen even came from. Well, it's actually bacteria. Bacteria killed the rocks, because at one point the rocks were alive and softer. That's why, where's it at? Really? That shungite ain't here? Oh, there it is. It's just black. But that's why this has fullerness. And fullerness is the connection between the inorganic and the organic. And this is the only thing that has it, is shungite. So, anyway, getting back to my point. Okay. Getting back to my point. So those beings have always been up above. A lot of people say that's heaven, and that ain't heaven. Them is just the oldest beings. So again, that's the stories of Shangri-La. That's the story of El Dorado. It's just those beings. And the other part is The other part is, so when the Eurasians came over here, and I'm saying Eurasians, when they came over here, what people don't understand what truly happened and what the point of the pyramids are, especially the pyramid of the moon and the sun. What they don't understand is when they came over here, the higher beings all left the lands. That's why, they say some like the pyramid of the sun and the moon. What happened? So they were able to generate enough to leave the lands, and so the people that were on the ground were the lower people, but the higher intelligent left, and so that's why Ladar, I think they call it. It's the point is they want to know how to bring all that shit down. Because that's the point of the pyramids they can't find, is the pyramids amplify for what's above. And this wasn't the first group to, this was the second group that went above. So this wasn't the original first group that live in our atmosphere. This is what happened to the beings in South America that were truly the powerful beings. They just was like, we're not going to war with these people. We can just move away. And then, some of those pyramids, they ain't found the majority of pyramids. They want to because they want to bring that down. And they want to learn how to bring it down because they know it exists, but they want to bring it down. So, remember in 13th floor, he dives out the simulation. That's a good point. Hey, El Abaru Khan, thank you for coming in. Reborn Amaru Khan.
You got to have vision.
She used nanotechnology, but it wasn't only nanotechnology, it was a slicing, because remember when she did that cube and she was able to make that cube, slice that cube up. So it was, yes, nanotechnology, but it was a slicing technology too. And the way she fucks that ship up is pretty cool. I want to say this before I forget. Bricklayer is worth watching. That is another John Wick. Netflix, Bricklayer is a good movie. I want to throw that in before I forget. So it was interesting. I mean, it's kind of it takes the relationships of all the people. And it's interesting, me, I'm a quality control person, and that's what fucked up. When they sent dude's brain into space, that's what fucked up was quality control, because something failed, some part of the steel, and that's a metaphor in itself, showing that steel can't settle all problems, because remember the steel failed, and again, the reagent, that was what gave them an advantage over the world, is the steel. So that was kind of a metaphor that the steel is breaking, that the steel ain't gonna conquer everything. So that was interesting. Fallout Amazon Prime is based on a video game. Yeah, I saw that advertised. And because what was I watching? I started watching they also some shit on Jeffrey Epstein. The investigation with Prince Andrew and all that shit. So I started watching that on Netflix too. But I watched Equalizer again. You can put the TV in movie mode, where it comes from the movie people. The new movies come with a mode, and if your TV can do it, it'll put you in that. My wife, because when you watch sports, you got to put it in dynamic mode because it lights everything up. But people don't understand what a true good picture is. A true good picture, when you go to the movies, the blacks, that's what you base it on. How good do the blacks show? And you notice when you go to a movie, it ain't all that bright shit, but the blacks are the most vivid. And that's the clearest shit you get, is when your blacks are the most vivid. That's the difference between, if you just get a 4K TV and you get the OLED, you get the newer TVs, the old TVs look washed out. I mean, 4K looks washed out. So, I watched X-Men 97. Okay, I got to get back on that. Invincible season is great too. Okay, I'm gonna have to watch X-Men 97, the original when it came out, and that had to be, it came on TV before 97. It came on, X-Men was on TV, let me see, 90, because that's where I recorded them all. I had that 50-inch tube, and I recorded that X-Men. I recorded 2 seasons, I think. So I recorded 2 years. I had a bunch of them. And, you know, keeping them big-ass tapes is hard to keep over the years. And I've told this story before. I'm not a porn person. Like, I haven't watched porn. I mean, soft porn is on TV now, but like real hardcore porn, shit, I couldn't even tell you. Maybe 7, 8, maybe 6 or 7. I just don't watch a lot of porn. But yeah, the first thing I recorded when I got because you know, up to a point, you had to have 2 VCRs to record. And so I remember when you could rent smaller VCRs, you know, a couple dollars, you could rent smaller ones. So the first thing I was able to record was Richard Pryor Live. And then I was able to record the greatest running backs of all time. And then I dubbed the Richard Pryor show. And then I dubbed Debbie Does Dallas. And I dubbed Deep Throat. And remember, deep throat is where her clit is in her throat. So the only way she can come is if you hit her throat, you know, hit her clit in her throat. Is Cable and Bishop in the new? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Jeffrey Mike can answer that one. He says it's Cable and Bishop in the new one. I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, my son went off. So I have this better on my Discord. So maybe Saturday, if you guys want to come in and ask some questions, you can come into the Discord and ask some questions. I got to get the Awaken one. Yeah, I got to get her because she wants to do a show with me. And this will be an easy way. Even with PJ and Bishop Macbone. And then what's my other man's name? Mac V Productions, all of us. Peach Rose, thank you for joining.
You got to have vision.
All right. The sun upgrades your DNA. The moon strengthens your psychic ability. These get rid of negative energy. The ocean cleanses your aura. I can't disagree with that. The sun gives life. That's why Christianity, if you really look at true Christianity, they're sun worshipers. I saw a man try to say that the Mayans were sun worshipers and he couldn't be further from the truth. It's like, no, they weren't. But Christianity is sun worship. No, I don't disagree with what you're saying. You can get out of all of those every day. Like it really, like people that live on the equator, you can live on the equator and you don't have to really eat. The sun will feed you like the trees and the plants. The sun will feed you all you need. You just need water or soup, something to give you a little energy. But people that live on the equator with getting that sun, these people don't even have to eat. I mean, the first time, if you watch, and this is where I say that, you know, why Wes Paneri and Dr. Valentine copy each other, because Wes Paneri definitely copied and saw Dr. Valentine's first time, the first time they recorded him. Dr. Valentine was saying it was different colors, and I mean really different colors, because people forget, like even the geometry people, gematry people forget that, you know, if you look at creation, how creation comes in, you know, creation comes in, the sound, you know, there's a sound, and then the sound turns into colors. So you hear a sound and then you hear the colors coming. And so, you know, Dr. Valentine's tell you how people was blue, people was green, people was red, and these people did not have to eat. The sun, just like what it does for the plants and everything around you, gave you all the substance you needed. Now, Wes Paneri changed it and said there were blurs. That's what he says when he talks about the Anunnaki. There were blurs. Blurs that were red, blurs that were yellow, blurs that were blue. I mean, it's the same work. You can tell he copied his work. It's the same thing. And Wes, you know, I dig your work, but you did copy Dr. Valentine. That's why Dr. Valentine copied some of your other shit. So again, it goes back to all we really need is the sun and to drink. That's all we really need. And if we have sun all the time, that's all we really need to do is water, good water, and the sun. The sun will feed you like it feeds the plants. So, cool. Yeah, Mega Red was one of my favorite. I'm gonna start watching. Okay, yeah. But thank you, Peach Rose. That's very nice of you to say. And you know, like what you have to understand about your DNA is the DNA of everyone is special, and it is the message from all the ancestors. I mean, if you get into what is it, 144,000 people it takes to make you, something like that, and you have a piece of all their DNA, all of what they experienced and what they wanted to pass on. Ooh, let's give it out. Let's give it out. I guess I'm hitting something. But that's what it is. All of those people, like I said, one time, you know, I tapped into my great grandmother. And I hugged her. I saw her. She came and I hugged her. It was like I was just thinking about her and I saw her appear. And this is a woman I never met, but I saw her appear. I hugged her. All her line hugged me. I mean, I looked up and there's thousands of people all in this one hug. And so sometimes the ancestors just want you to, you know, recognize them and bring them in. And that's what she was showing me. It's like all these people, you know, love you too. Because when I hugged her, her whole side of the family, you're one of us. That's the message I got from her. It's like, you know, I didn't just hug her, I hugged that whole line of that family. And so that's, you know, that's what you get. That's the gifts you get from what your family is. And some people are from some fucked up families and you reject that energy, and rightly so, because, you know, somewhere that energy is corrupted. You know, so all the time it's, you know, to say is positive for everybody, not necessarily. Not necessarily. But those of us that are lucky enough where it was positive enough where, well, you know, what they were given. Because I know my great grandfather, who was a healer, first brother to go to Michigan State, could grow anything. He could grow a tree that grew apples on one side and pears on the other. And so, but being American Indian too, you know, all that was given to me from him. The majority of spirituality. And then my grandfather, that's from Mississippi, same thing. He didn't know who else to give it to, but he saw. And it's funny how you know your family will give you these gifts. He had a book. It was a time. What's funny is the Time Life book. Like I had all the Time Life books about Vietnam. He had a Time Life book about magic, and I picked it up and started reading. Again, I was a freshman in college. I think it was my Christmas coming home, and I think that's where he passed it to me. What he was taught in Mississippi. Spiritually. Because I remember he's like, this is how you make a wand. But he saw my interest and he's like, okay, I got to get this to him. And that's kind of how your relatives do. The spirituality that comes from the family, if it's meant for you, you know, it'll come to you. And your relatives will give it to you. And so that's just always something to consider. Yeah, okay, I see how to do this thing. So, yeah, I'm voice connected and I can bring over the picture. So, yeah, I got to get the Waking one on here. I got to give her a call. You know, because she wants to come on. So, we definitely got to get her in. And me and PJ going to do a little thing too, because he's very knowledgeable as well. And he has a lot of questions and answers. So bring him in too. And, you know, anybody else that wants to come in and got something to say. Woman records husband shooting her after learning of affair. God damn. Oh, my goodness. And you know what's sad? I'm going to tell you what's sad. It's like, my nephew died maybe 2 years ago. Maybe 3 years ago, going on 3, but it's like, it's a guy that looks like my nephew that's an actor. He was on a bunch of Budweiser commercials, but he looks like, the first time I saw him, I was like, wow, the same phenotype, the same, I mean, you know, and people look alike. That's why it's a lot of mistaken identity, because people generally look alike. The more I travel, I learn that people look alike in the world. Except Wisconsin. Wisconsin has just a lot of ugly people, but again, that's a whole nother story. I'm just joking. My cousin lives in Wisconsin and she's very beautiful, but she didn't live, she comes from somewhere else. Oh, how long have I been going? Okay, I wasn't going to go too long. Oh, the Civil War movie wasn't all that. Do you ever have a dread in the back of your mind that we might not be able to beat these entities? Well, it's not a matter of beating them. It's not a matter of beating them. I mean, it really is a thing where you say, do you sell your energy signal to them? Do you take, whatever Lola wants, whatever Lola gets? Do you give that to Lola? And so all you have to worry about is staying true to yourself. Now, I can't tell you to not go into the light because I think the light is corrupted. So yeah, I'm going to say, but again, everybody has to make their own decision. Because the hardest thing, again, is death comes so fast. And I mean, this shit, I was surprised because I'm sure I kind of died on my couch. And that shit surprised me. I was like, that shit, all they're preparing and what they tell you, the Tibetans, it ain't a lot of time. That dark comes really quick. Quicker than you anticipate. I mean, when that silver cord is severed, yeah, that shit is quick. And so all this stuff of, you've got to be doing it constantly, like closing all your entry points, closing all that so you can push out your crown. That's got to be instilled in you already. You already got to think in your mind, okay, if it comes, this is what we got to do. Close everything up and then push out our head. You don't want to come out your nose. You don't want to come out your eyes. You don't want to come out your ears. You definitely don't want to come out your ass or your penis or a woman's vagina. You don't want to come out any of those, but you have to clog all that up, plug them all up, and then bust out of your crown. So we don't have to beat them. That's the thing is it's like they got us in that mindset where we're fighting them. We don't. Love yourself. Be about love. Love humanity, and that's enough. You win by doing that. And the other part is, don't be, you already trained yourself. You've done enough work where you're not going to fall for the reincarnation thing. Unless you want to be an advocate, because there are people that will come back to reincarnation to help humankind. They have memory and they're trying to help humankind of not going into the reincarnation bubble. Or the reincarnation trap. Because again, you got to do it all over again. You live 90 years and then you got, and they want you to do it all over again. But if you learn the proper lessons now and start doing the work, and a lot of you are younger out there, start doing the work. And then you go where you need to go. As I was talking about last night, again, when they talk about what houses and where you come from spiritually, again, you are given fractals. Each and every person are given fractals, which are clues to what spiritual place you come from and what spiritual place you are going to go to. And as I say almost every night, I was given this. And this, the Monkey King stuff came way later, but I was given this. And this opened it up from where I'm from and why this is important to me. And this right here led me to the experience of the Monkey King. That's why I know one of my beings was the Monkey King. And then what's not talked about is the Monkey King started a new civilization because the people that imprisoned him, yeah, they was all dead. They locked his ass away, but he was able to, I was able to reborn myself. And I've talked many years about being reborn from the cave. And that's where Monkey King was trapped. So there's no way to fight himself out of it because that's what he's used to, got to fight everything. But I decided, no, that ain't the thing. Let's be reborn. And it started with the heart, started with the lungs, the same thing when you're born. You attach to the cave. Heart comes out first, and that's the consciousness. And that's what people don't realize. Our consciousness is here. This is where consciousness started, was in your heart. The first thing develops is your heart. So this is where consciousness is. And people don't understand that this is as much of a brain as this is. This can die. This brain will still work. I mean, you know that from all you guys are old enough to know that when that dies, this can still work and tell everything what to do. And that's why, when we look at Alzheimer and dementia, we know that this is something they created. We know it's something they give people because, again, if you have memories, it's easier for you to go through. They want to take your memory away so you can't go through. You don't know how. And what they try to turn it in is really white light. That Alzheimer's shit is white. That's the best. I've said this before, but I'm telling you, Alzheimer and memory lapse is white. That's what they want to, that's the fog. They give you a white fog. Your thoughts go to white. And that's the fight. That's the fight right there, is to fight that white. Because that's where your thoughts will go to. When that shit tries to fuck with you, that's what it does. It turns your thoughts into white. There ain't no thought, there's just white. So that's the fight. That's the fight. So if anything to fight is to fight fight Alzheimer's, dementia. Yeah. Well, I mean, the Monkey King is actually two characters. There is Jet Li plays Monkey King 2. Jet Li plays Monkey King 2, but Monkey King is, Dragon Ball Z. What's his name? Magetta. When they called, remember one guy always called him the monkeys? Well, that story is based on the Monkey King. So yeah, Jet Li plays, I think, in Monkey King 2. But there's Monkey King 1 too, also. So. And the way they imprisoned him was putting him in the mountain. Because he was fucking with the gods. And so I know that I am one of, and the other one is, his name is Human. Human is an Indian deity. He's a monkey Indian deity. Indians from India, they do not eat meat on Tuesdays because of that monkey god. Human, I think is the way he's pronounced. But he is about pure love. So there's another variation of it that's just, a god that's about pure love. So I think I'm kind of both of them. Our spirit's a little bit of both of them. So, hey, Big Stank. Thank you. Been watching. You ain't been watching. Thank you for joining.
Got to have vision.
The Saiyan, Gukor, Vegeta, and yeah, the Saiyans. Yeah, it's based on the Monkey King. Yeah, the Saiyans is based on the Monkey King. Because remember, what's the one guy that always calls them monkeys, and that's that's their base story. But if you get into it, it's but Jet Li does a good job. But Monkey King 1 is good too. But again, this is led me to the Verdas, and this is very like the Monkey King story is very ancient. And like the story of the Verdas, I mean, this is ancient stuff. And this goes back to Sanskrit stuff, And like this is a Sanskrit. This thing comes from Sanskrit. So that's how long this fractal has been around. And that's why I'm trying to tell y'all, you gotta like when you get visions or you meditate, you start seeing the fractals where you belong. Because you're creating them. Your subconscious, like you close your eyes and you sit there and you got all quiet. Bubbles start appearing. And I don't mean soap bubbles, but I just mean creation bubbles. You just close your eyes and all of a sudden you just start seeing waves. And I ain't saying string theory, but I'm just saying you start seeing the waves. And then through these waves, you start seeing different patterns. Now, I've said many times, again, the first level that you get into is you see the golden ratio. You have to get to the point where you see the golden ratio, and the golden ratio is, it's interesting. When you get to the point where you see the golden ratio, it looks like a giant mushroom, but you can't get stuck there. You can get above that. You get above, because it's like, that's just what is it? That's just a part of it, or that's not the right word I want to put out there, but that's just a level of it. You can get above the golden ratio. But once you start seeing the golden ratio, when you astral travel, you're on the right path. But remember, that's not the end or the goal. You go above that. And that's the same thing like for karma. You can go above karma. So that's why I don't really practice karma. Yeah, they had tails. Yeah. Frieza. Yeah, that's right. Frieza always called him monkey. That's right. I've seen the patterns before, but not the gold stuff. Yeah, but go on the patterns because yours might not be gold. Yours might be some other color. So, whoa. So just go with what you're creating. And then you'll see it because what happens is at first it's just little small fractals, but the fractals turn into like someone talking about seeing things in the sky. You start seeing full structures. I mean, once you get to a certain point, you really start seeing structures. You don't just see these flashes of fractals. You start seeing full societies almost. I mean, you really start seeing because like how can I relate this? Because it's almost like this. And I guess this is the best way I can try to tell this story if I can get it right. If I can remember how to get it right. So like in one of the experiences, I'm seeing this thing that looks like this giant ass tree. It looks like a giant tree. But as I get closer to it, and what it is it's a crib. It's a big house, but not house, more like apartments. But I mean massive. This shit went up in the sky. And I remember what was so funny about it, I remember we had to take this I mean, we so it takes us because we see this thing is so massive that we see it. It takes us a couple of days to get to it. Then once we get to it and we go in it, it's like this massive, like you didn't even realize how big it was once you got inside and saw all the beams. But then I go up to my room and they say, this is your room. And then it's like, wait a minute. Now, part of being the Monkey King that I didn't say is being the Monkey King, I live in the tears of Brahma. I live in the tears of Brahma. Being the Monkey King, my resting place is in the tears of Brahma, which is Mu, the first thought. But to continue the story in this giant tree, so I get in the room, and the room is the exact room of the Monkey King's room. It's facing the same way, and I'm getting to the room, and I'm thinking, wait a minute. So this is home. So this is home. That's what it showed me. Like, I'm coming here. So that's what it means when you know where you're going when you pass. And you feel comfortable because you know that you're going to be accepted there because you've already been there. So that's the point of that story. It took me to a place that I had been before. And I was like, okay, this is showing me where I'm going. And so, oh, and I got to pee again. So I got to find a story. I wonder, it's funny that OJ died. I had the feeling they was going to go after Tony Dorsett because anytime they show you a lot of a person, like it was a time where Rodman was too much in the news and it seemed like they was about to take him out, but they didn't. I was surprised they didn't take Rodman out, but I'm seeing the same thing with Tony Dorsett. And I'm like, why all of a sudden I'm seeing all this Tony Dorsett stuff? So it makes me wonder, is his time coming? God dang. So let me see. Let me go back. See if I can get a little story. Well, I go pee again. Oh, shoot. What time is it? Now, tomorrow, I ain't got to do nothing until midday. But yeah, I go out to Nike outlet and bought the same damn shirts. I came out like, damn, but there's only 15, 16. Damn. Oh, really? This is a bullshit story, but I want to hear this shit.
Since our launch in 20...
Let's hear this shit because it sounds funny. It's kind of funny. It sounds funny, so let's see. I don't know. I want to hear this story to see how funny it is.
New tonight, a disturbing development in the deadly shooting of a dog. It happened at a home in Blue Earth County last week after the homeowner received a series of threatening notes. As our Mary McGuire reports, police now suspect a postal worker is responsible.
New court documents reveal the suspect linked to the shooting death of a family dog near Mankato works as a mail carrier and has a history of leaving threatening notes pertaining to animals. Those details are included in a pair of search warrants filed this week after Lily, a family pet, was found shot dead on the deck of a home in South Bend Township late last month. Lily's owners report receiving threatening notes about barking animals in the weeks before the shooting, and that 2 young children were inside the home when the dog was shot. The suspect identified in those court documents is a nearby neighbor of the family and is a current employee of the U.S. Postal Service.
Hey, these some broke niggas. Look where these niggas live. These is all dirt roads. These are some broke ass people. And these houses, these ain't great how, but look at this shit. This is how backwards they are. I bet they're all on wells. They're all on wells. They got wells. They got propane gas to heat. I mean, these niggas live where they got dirt roads. God damn, these are some broke motherfuckers. Okay, I'm sorry.
Service. In an interview with police, he denied shooting Lily, but admitted to leaving several notes about loud animals at different homes in his neighborhood and along his postal route. In one note, he wrote in part, "If you stupid expletive put the barking dog out again, it will get a bullet in the head."
Damn!
Months earlier, he also reportedly told a coworker he wanted to shoot his neighbor's dog because it was barking. Investigators are now examining firearms, ammunition.
Now, I know in the city, that's illegal. I don't know about out there in the country, but in the city, they'll take your dog if your dog barks. If you live in apartments and your dog is barking like that, they come and get it. If you complain and you live in apartments here in the Twin Cities, they will take your dog. So people around here, their dogs don't bark because they know they'll lose them. They train their dogs. You can't be like, you live in an apartment, your dog can't bark. I mean, every once in a while, but I mean, just bark. No, they will come get that motherfucker and take him away. I don't know why they don't do that here, but again, you saw the dirt roads. These are some broke niggas. Living on there. I mean, why would you buy like what kind of motherfucker goes to a dirt road and says, you know, honey, let's buy this house on this dirt road? What motherfucker? I don't get that. How are you gonna live anywhere in America where you live on a goddamn dirt road? What happens when it rains? What happens when it rains and you wash your car? Like, you know, you live on a dirt road, your car is always dusty. Like, hey, honey, well, honey, it's a dirt road. Hey, it's okay. This is our dream house. Then it look like no dream houses. Goddamn dirt roads. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Okay, I'm sorry, but let's finish the story.
And notes related to the case. They're also making arrangements for an necropsy to recover additional evidence. Now, if you have any information on this case, you're asked to call the Blue Earth County Sheriff's.
Okay. Oh, shit, Blue Earth. Okay, what's the worst gonna happen? I've said before, I've never, when I pulled guns on dogs, they stopped. I have never had a dog try to attack me that I pulled a gun out. And I've had dogs running at me. And I pull that heat out, them motherfuckers, they know something about because they know the lack of fear. Their drilling is pushed by you being afraid of them. But when you stand up and you ain't afraid of the dog and you got that pipe pointing at his ass, them dogs know. Now, I watched the guy shoot a dog and he killed that dog unnecessarily. I don't even know why I had to back this nigga up. It was near campus, so maybe that's why I had to back him up, because it was near campus and I had to back this motherfucker up. We went in the fence and the dog just was barking and the motherfucker shot him. I mean, just shot the dog. We went in the fence. The dog didn't attack us or nothing, and he just shot that motherfucker. And I had to testify and shit. He got a fine. He didn't get fired or nothing for it. I take that back. He didn't even nothing happened to him. You know, nothing happened to him. And it wasn't a warrant. What was it? It was something else. It wasn't a warrant or anything. They had to talk to the people in the house, and he opened the gate, and the dog barked, and he shot that motherfucker. And I testified and everything, and I was there. That's what I testified. We walked in the fence. This nigga shot him. That's all I had to say. Well, did you think it was right or wrong? I'm like that. That's hearsay. I ain't answer that shit. I'm like, nah, I ain't got no opinion of that. That was that motherfucker. He shot that motherfucker, and that's all I can say. I don't know his state of mind. He wasn't mad. That dog barked, and that nigga shot him when we went in that fence. That's all I can say. So does the Grim Reaper come to get OJ, or does OJ go to the Grim Reaper? I'm still wondering. Goddamn dirty road. Oh yeah, fuck that dirt road. I gotta pee though, so let me find the story right quick. You know what, Jeffrey? No, that Grim Reaper shit ain't real. It ain't nothing like that. It ain't nothing like that. You on your own. That shit is quick, and you alone. But it's nothing to fear. It comes. It's natural. But it's like you got to do the work now, no doubt. And if you don't do the work now, that shit comes really fast. So you got to be spiritually. You got to, and really what you got to understand is like the spirituality comes from love. That's what you really got to understand. It's like love is the universal thing. Two things that are universal is love and melanin, and they kind of go together. These are universal energies. And so, tap into the love. And the love is what carries you through, because love is supreme and love has no equal. It's just love. And that's what people don't understand. Love is all you need. I mean, think about it. You can take you can get an egg and you see the egg cracked, and you know how to take care of that little bird to make that bird into a real little thing. We know how to do it because of love. You buy a cat, you buy a dog, you feed it every day. I feed the cats. I clean up their cat litter. And I do that all out of love, because I've taken the responsibility that they need to eat and their litters need to be clean, because these motherfuckers climb all up on us. So I want all that to be clean. And I do that all of love. My cat got killed, and the way it got killed, which it didn't deserve. But again, it was a little confused, and we don't quite know how it got killed. But it didn't deserve it because the cat was truly full of love. But again, I took care of it for 5 years out of love. Even the year it didn't live with me, when it was living with my son. I was only able to bring one of the cats over. But it was all out of love. And all three of these cats, they know that I'm about love with them. I've never mistreated them. When I remove one of the cats from the bedrooms, because our youngest cat, he won't, just like the older two cats, they'll lay all night and not fuck with us. The younger cat, when it wakes up, it wants to walk on my wife's head and walk on her and shit, and we can't have that. Let me find the video, though, so I can go pee. Is this long enough? I don't think this is long enough. Let's see. It's not funny, but it's funny. Okay, this will give me long enough to pee. So this is some stupid shit. But give me a second, because I got to go pee again.
And the last leg of the calendar, Club 365 Challenge.
It's a daily running challenge that'll have him tally more than 6,000 miles, kind of like a certain cinematic cross-country runner. Fox 9's Corin Hoggard joined him on the trails to find out with this guy who's kind of like Forrest Gump, what has motivated him.
It never gets easy to run.
Mark Dowdle is on an epic run.
Mila's a regular on our runs.
Wherever he is and whatever the weather, he heads outside and meets the Calendar Club 365 Challenge.
What better thing could you ask for? What better day could you ask for?
That's where you run 1 mile for each date of the month. In other words, 1 mile on the 1st, 2 on the 2nd, all the way to 31 on the 31st. Most people will do it for 1 month. Mark quit his job along the way so he could finish a full year of it. Today is the 11th, so we're headed out for 11 miles.
Let's do it.
He did the month-long challenge in April 2020, but someone told him he was soft for doing a 30-day month. So he stepped it up and started down this path it seems nobody's run before.
It never gets easy to start. It never gets easy. There's always that, man, I don't feel like running. People ask me, how are you able to run 20 miles and then wake up the next day and do 21 miles and then 22, 23? And I think what has happened over the course of the challenge is that's become my new normal.
He's added a few extra miles along the way, running from Duluth to Minneapolis and doubling his mileage in February by...
God damn, he ran from Duluth to Minneapolis? It take me in a car, it take 2.5 hours to drive to Duluth. It must have took him 2 days to fucking run. Okay, fuck this stupid shit. I ain't hear this shit. I just had to piss. Yeah, this is just some stupid shit. I thought he was one leg running. It's like, God damn, dude, it's hard enough for you to run. I'm glad it wasn't that. So I'm laughing for no reason. Okay. Connor Davis.
Got to have vision.
Well, if you go back into Kemet, in Kemet mythology, the cat god is Basalt. What was Bass? What is the cat god name? But cats are in tune. Like cats are in tune, and of all the animals that you can have around you, the cat is the one animal that will astral travel. That's why you see the Sphinx in the position it's in. It is in that position that cats astral travel. Now, I've told this many times before. One time I was meditating, like when the cats were young and I was meditating and they surprised me because they joined me in the astral realm. And, one thing I have the power in the astral realm is to blast motherfuckers. It's like I am Iron Man in that bitch, and you can blast niggas. And so I blasted both the cats. And so for a while they wouldn't join me. But the cats can astral travel with you. And I've said this before. One of my cats came in and they just waved at me. One of my cats came into the astral realm, turned into a person, waved at me, and then opened the door and went in the door. Now, the best thing that cats really do for you spiritually is at night. Now, as I said, I sleep in a room full of kyanite and apophyllite. I have these apophyllite in the corners, and then I have little pieces of kyanite in the corners with them. It gives a spiritual blocking. But what cats do for you at night, the spiritual things, now, especially if you let your cats in the room with you, if you have, bad dreams, nightmares, cats help that. At night, cats fight the spiritual war for you because that's when you're most vulnerable. So cats really fight a lot of spiritual things around you. And so at rest, that's when they're most valuable, and when you're at rest. A lot of spiritual stuff, and say you're not very spiritual, having cats around, they will do spiritual things for you. And not get you in any trouble or reckless, but they will do spiritual things for you to clear a lot of negative that wants to come. Cats are great at keeping away negative things from you while you're at rest. That's the most important thing that I find for them. So that's why I like them around, because when I'm at rest, they spiritually work for me. So that's the best way I can explain it. Basat. Yeah, Basat. So that's how highly they were. Cats don't like reptilians. That is a fact. Well, there we go. I'm a dog person. Well, the cats aren't necessary. And I've said before, of all the shape-shifting, the best shape-shifting was by far being a jaguar. By far. I mean, I didn't mind being the eagle, but I don't know. I didn't get being able to fly fast and the eyesight, but I don't know. I liked being on the ground and grounded, and that being a jaguar is just, it's unbelievable to be able to smell everything in 100 miles of your territory. That's a hell of a thing. And I mean really a motherfucker 100 miles away, and you can smell that they done came in because you done made your boundary, and they know when they come in, they smell you. So they know you somewhere in that 100 miles. And I don't know, that's just, that's that. I love that. That's to me the best animal to be is a jaguar or a panther, whatever the fuck you want to call it. A cat is that was to me was a better experience than flying to me. Being, I remember I killed a goddamn deer and I picked that deer up. I mean, this is a big ass deer. I put my mouth in his spine and pushed that shit up, and I ran with this motherfucking, what is it, about 200-pound deer. I ran with that motherfucker in my jaws and took it back to the cave to all my females and all my children. And cats can see at night too, so and that's the beautiful thing about the jaguars. Jaguars live in the caves. And so yeah, that's I've had cats around me my whole life. I mean, I've had a few dogs. And dogs aren't really spiritual at all. They're companions though. Dogs are loyal and companions. Cats ain't really companions. They want to be companions when they want to be. But I mean, like to have a cat sit on you. I mean, do you know what that cat is giving you? It's positive in both ways. It's positive when you let a cat sit on you. What they are giving off and what they're giving you and what you're giving to them. I mean, it's a mutually kind of thing. You give each other something. And so it's positive to let an animal, even a dog, to sit on you too. It's very positive. But cats a little more so. So I love cats. But I love things on earth. I love things on earth. I love all the animals. I love the earth, and that's what we don't really understand is people don't really love, whatever layer we're on. Again, this thing is a bunch of layers on a main being. And there's things that use that being to make their own reality. And it's not always positive, but it's not the only one. That's the problem. And it's like when you go to these realities, the motherfuckers try to say that, I'm all knowing. It's like this is a real thing. It's like when you go to these realities, it's almost like the Wizard of Oz. Because the motherfucker that kind of started the reality want to make you think that it's God and all. And you're like, wait a minute, motherfucker. I was in this reality, so I know you wasn't God over that shit. And then when you hit them with them questions, they kick you out. It's like a video game. They're like, wait a minute, motherfucker. I was just over here, and you ain't have shit to do with that. And then they'll kick you out of their reality. Because they know, they want all their beings to be ignorant and think that they're like the Wizard of Oz. I mean, it's really, you see realities where you be like, this is some Wizard of Oz shit. Motherfucker, you ain't got no real power. Or you could have stopped me from coming in here. That's why I had to tell him, I'm like, you ain't got no power. Why am I here? If you had this power, how am I able to come here? And all those people is like, yeah, nobody's ever come here before. And so you get into those kind of situations, but it's, it's a lot to, it's a lot to understand. Some people can't meditate, and it limits you. It does limit you spiritually. Like the cool thing I said the other night, like about the Muslims, because the Muslims, it's kind of a meditative state, but the meditative state, see, the problem the problem with prayer is you're praying to something outside of yourself. And really, you want to keep all the energy in. So you pray to if you got to pray to the God in you. Don't give that energy out. Because, I mean, like if you look at the Vatican is a big vacuum cleaner. It's a vacuum cleaner of souls and spirits and energies. Because people not only give them their money, they give them their energy too. And that's the only problem with praying. But for a discipline and trying to get people to understand the work you got to put in, it's that type of work that the Muslims put in 5 times a day. I mean, spiritually, you have to do the work. You have to meditate. You have to, at least, if you don't meditate, you at least have to find a way to, you control your own thoughts. Because again, the monkey on the back is real. And that's why I keep this kind of shit around. I'm like, remove anything that I've made no agreement to be on me. Because these Zoolites will push their scrubbers. These zoo lights are scrubbers. And this is one crystal. I don't, whatever zoo light you want, but these zoo lights take shit off you. And so you grab these motherfuckers and be like, man, remove anything that I did not make an agreement to be on me. And these things systematically will remove that shit. And you'll hear less of those extra voices in your mind. So now imagine if the military was splicing animals and human. Imagine a soldier be able to smell an enemy in the battlefield. They might, I don't know. Well, now, they got the drones that can cover the area. But yeah, there's no thing that can just know the enemy is there. And it's like if you study Vietnam, and one thing that shouldn't have been allowed was cigarette smoking for sure. Because when you go in them jungles, you don't wear deodorant, you don't wear aftershave, and you goddamn definitely don't smoke to let them know where the fuck you at. And that's a problem that hurt GIs fighting there. And you see them all with cigarettes. It's 2:42. The Cong didn't have, the North Vietnamese and the Viet Cong wasn't smoking to let everybody know we're coming. And that was something they should have got rid of. But again, they want them smoking because smoking is calming. But it was something that people got killed for cigarette smoking. Like you see the platoonies like, don't be out there smoking dope, but they show them smoking cigarettes. Cigarettes give you position away because you can smell cigarettes a long way away, especially American cigarettes. You can smell that menthol, or you can smell the Marlboros miles away. So that got Americans killed too. But from World War II, they want them to smoke because smoking is calming. But it's a way that gave you position away and made them see that you was coming. But remember, platoonies like, don't be out there smoking dope. Well, don't smoke cigarettes either because it's giving you position away. Yeah, it's got to be another way. Oh, there we go. There we go. Damn, a year ago, New York man dies after getting stabbed in fight over bad manners. Stupid way to die. Stupid way to die. It's funny. No, I'm not going to say what my thought, but I will say this. It's like it says that the world biggest candy store is moving, and it is in Jordan, I thought. Candy store, Jordan, moving. Okay, so it's moving up the street. But it's funny, when you go to this candy store, you can't help but think, this is diabetes. This is diabetes. And as an adult, you have to, especially melanated folks. Remember, if you saw a movie Killer of the Flower Moon, remember the main character, she had diabetes. And what did dude tell her? You can't eat like us Eurasians eat. You can't eat like we eat. And that's what was happening. She's eating a lot of sugars that come from the Europeans. And again, what they was giving them, because what she probably bought and had was probably more healthy, but she got into, what the Eurasians eat. Eat a lot of that nasty sugar, the sugar bean, the sugar demon, because sugar can be like a demon, the sugar demon. Damn, let me see. Because that was some bullshit the Timberwolves lost last night. They had that game. That was some bullshit they lost. They threw that game on purpose. They definitely threw that game on purpose. Why we hate Nina. Oh, life is funny. It's funny too. Everybody wants to get the right angle. There's no angle. You just say your opinion about something. That's all. I rarely talk about what everybody else is talking about because it's an overkill. And I definitely don't do the nigga news. There's still people out there doing the nigga news. But that's whatever it takes to get people to watch it, whatever it takes. You got to be original, though. You got to be original. That's the best thing. And that's what I think I do is original. Well, guys, I'm at 2.5 hours. That's probably enough. I ain't got too much more to say. But I'll close it out like I always do. I mean, there's no one way to be spiritual. And whatever you have to find to make you a spiritual person, that's you have to do the work, and the greatest way to spirituality is through love. And because all of us should have love and the ability to love, because to receive love, you have to love. That's just how it works. And, some people, the love is stripped out of you. And you live with a cold heart, and that's sad. I mean, it's like so many people, put all these cheating things out there, but it's like people don't understand. This is what people don't understand is when you love, like my friend, she said it. She said, I don't care if this nigga cheats. I love this nigga. And ain't nothing this nigga could do to make me quit loving him. So if all he's doing is fucking somebody else, I love him regardless. Now that's true love. Now I'm not asking anybody to be a fool, but I'm saying that's the type of love she had. She knows no other way to love. But when she loves someone, she loves them with their gains and their faults. That's really what she was saying. I love this nigga when he's at his highest high. I love this nigga when he's at his lowest low. And that's true love. Now, again, I'm not saying anybody be a fool to anything. Definitely not. But what I'm saying is really be able to love. And that's the thing of lucid living. You love living. Because like the Gnostics, I was slipping. Like the Gnostics say, even when it's bad, it's good because it's life. A nigga sitting on death row want to be on death row as many days possible. Right? So even when it's bad, it's good because it's life. But the love comes from self-love. I mean, I dress nice all the time because I love myself that much. They tease me when I go to the outlet because they used to seeing me. Everywhere I go, motherfuckers see me a certain kind of way. Now, if I'm doing some work, yeah, I look bummy. But most of the time, I'm looking very fly. And that's why I buy all the new shit, because that's what it takes to look fly. I want the new shit that looks good, and I'm going to present myself like that. Until I'm an old man, they're going to put that shit on me. I'm going to be an old man wearing gold and diamonds. Because diamonds are expanders, They're amplifiers. So it amplifies me. That's what motherfuckers don't tell you about diamonds. Yes, diamonds can absorb negative energy, but if you're positive niggas and you keep your diamonds clean, because again, you have an argument with somebody and you wearing diamonds, you got to go wash your diamonds. That's just what you got to do, because diamonds will amplify. That's why, you take two people and the man's wearing a diamond and the woman's wearing diamonds, and they get in an argument and they don't wash those diamonds out. That energy, diamonds will hold negative energy. Selenite, shugite, there's some of that won't. There's some stones that won't. But diamonds specifically definitely will. That's why I looked at my doctor. I'm like, how can but doctors constantly washing their hands. So, but it starts from love, self-love. And understanding that the God that they talk about is in you. It's in you. And so you bring the God out of you. And that's what you practice. It's not outside of you. And that's the deceiver. The deceiver wants you to think that there's something outside of you. But it's in you. And then when that goes back to me saying the DNA that you were given by the 144 some thousand people it took to be you. And you tap into all that because all that is you. You look like a motherfucker that's 1,000 years ago. You look like that motherfucker. Some kind of way if people look at you. And I've went back and, people look, wait a minute. You look too much like us. You got to be one of our relatives. It's the problem with going back in time and letting them see you. It's like, wait a minute. You look too familiar. It's like if you have a young child. This is a great, great exercise. You have a young child, and the child's sitting in front of you 5 years old, and then somebody knocks on the door, and it's a motherfucker 25 years old, and it's the same person. Would you recognize that person? Would you recognize him? You got the person you're looking at, and then you got this grown motherfucker. Would you recognize him? Now, this is what's funny is how they change. I remember one time my son that stayed with me, this nigga came to the door, and it took a minute because he had got taller. He hit a growth spurt, and he came to the door. I'm like, wait a minute, nigga, you ain't 5'8" no more. But it's like it took a second for my mind to, adjust. Oh, okay. Wow, that's interesting. Huh. But self-love, And then you build everything out of there. It's confidence. Confidence is being. That's what confidence is being. And remember, action cures fear. Action cures fear. But believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody will believe in you. So the only way to get people to believe in you is that you believe in yourself and you have supreme confidence and you come off that way. I've said before, I don't care if one person watches me or 20 people or one or 10 people. I try to bring it no matter what. It's like they say, what Bobby would do. Bobby he'd go in there and it'd be 30, 40 motherfuckers listening to him. And then eventually everybody would, end up leaving. And then it'd be one person in there. Bobby would sit down with that one person and keep giving the information out. And that's how I feel. So it's no matter how many people watch or come in, check out. That doesn't matter to me. It's me putting the message out in the world of all these things I studied. And so that's why I say I give freely. I mean, I don't have to come on here. I don't have to put no Cash App on here. Not especially live. Some of you niggas be putting that Cash App live. It make me think you niggas is broke. How are you on here putting your Cash App on there? You go in my notes and see that shit. You don't see me put it in the live, and some of you niggas do that shit. It makes me think you niggas is broke because you begging. Putting your Cash App in the live feed. You begging. That's begging. I ain't got to do that. When people, I appreciate when you do, but it's like, that ain't my aim. And some of you niggas, that's your aim. You need to make you talk shit about other people that they need to make it, but nigga, you need to make that shit too. Because your Cash App is right in there. Every 5 minutes, your Cash App is showing up. Nigga, are you broke? I look at niggas like this. Are you broke, nigga, really? You got to beg every 5 minutes while you go live? Just a little reminder, I need you guys to donate. Really? I guess some niggas is broke. They be acting like they ain't, but they be begging. Only broke niggas beg. Only broke niggas beg. And if I gotta put, if you see me put fucking every 5 minutes my Cash App in the live feed every 5 minutes, and you see niggas to do that, they broke. Because they gotta beg. I've been doing videos since 14 with my other channel. And this channel been 4 years, since 20. Now, one time I came up here, like I about said this nigga's name, but this nigga, he begged until the people gave him enough money to get a computer. He begged. He got out of prison, and he's like, hey, and now he's a great editor. I almost said this nigga's name, but I ain't gonna say his name, but he begged to get the editing equipment and his computer set. He begged, and people gave it to him. But it makes me wonder about some of y'all. You know, you talk a good game, but you still begging for money. You're doing this obviously to try to generate money. And I'm the last nigga that's trying to generate money doing this. I do this for my own good because I give freely. I mean, there ain't too many people that want to call me that can't call me or email me, whatever. But not one time in 4 years of this new channel have I got on here and say, niggas, I need some money. Even when I lived in my apartment, not one time that I sit on here desperate. It's like, well, you know, guys, I need $20. It'll really make me feel better. And I've watched women. What's her name? I'm going to say a couple of names. Lucid Living chick. She's bad about it. She'll get to crying. She was saying her children got her. I'm like, wow, really? Really, chick? You supposed to be so, and here you are begging, crying, which is obviously fake. Talking about they arrested my sons and all this shit. Bitch, get the fuck out of here. Sorry, no disrespect to any women listening. But I'm like, it's pathetic. It gets to become pathetic. You don't see Joe Rogan begging. You don't see the top YouTubers begging. It's the lower people that beg. I guess they ain't got nothing else going on in their life. And these niggas with jobs too. What is this? Mushroom coffee. Huh, okay. Black coffee, mushroom coffee. Don't sound very good. The new Range Rover Sport. Don't buy a Range Rover. The company that makes them now, right now, they're even saying that you can't even take Range Rovers to get them worked on. That there's a problem with getting the parts, which are double in America. Leave those cars alone. If you get one like I think, trying to think when the new company, the Indian company took over. If you can get one before the Indian company, it's like buying Chryslers and Jeeps. You want to get it before Stellantis took over because it takes 5 years to build a car. So you want to buy a car from them that was built that 5 years. Like when they took over, they were still making Mercedes cars basically. So you had a 5-year period there where you're still getting a Mercedes car. That's why do you think they're stopping the demons? Why do you think that? They can't think of anything new. That's why they're stopping them. They can't. This is technology from somebody else, not Stellantis. So Stellantis makes fucking what are they called? Aston Martins, fucked up car. Maseratis, another fucked up car. You're gonna have a lot of issues with it. This is what Stellantis is making, poor cars. This is what's happened to the world. You know, these companies that have inferior products. Like Hyundais. I'm not knocking none of y'all, but you already know them ain't good cars. Like, yeah, if you don't drive it, like my mother-in-law got one, she don't drive it. So she ain't had no issues because she don't drive that often. But you motherfuckers that got them cars that gotta drive them, and I don't get that. Why are you buying foreign cars? I don't get that. Like we have the other car is Acura. Why? It's like I'm looking at some 4Runners. And these motherfuckers is what the brand new 4Runner is $65,000. Why am I looking at a 15 with 100-some thousand miles on it and they charging 40 grand? Make that make sense. A new one is $65,000, but you telling me one with 100,000 miles on it is still worth $40,000? There's no way. Why would you want to buy that? I don't get that. I'm a Ford man. I'm a Ford person. I like American cars. But drive whatever you can afford. Shit. I'm just talking shit. But some of it is real shit. And it's petty a little bit, but I'm only human. I talk shit. Motherfuckers get on these high horses. But love yourself. Have fun. Laugh. You can't be serious all the time. Laugh, because laughter is great. Laugh with your spouse, girlfriend, friends. Get with your friends and laugh. Tell jokes. Enjoy people. And that's what humanism is. It's where we enjoy each other. Where we enjoy the company of others. My best friend, we've been friends for 15 years. I have a very small circle. But my best friend, we've been friends for 15 years. And, I've been living here since '06, going on 18 years. November to be 18 years. And I've known him all but 2 years. But that's the kind of friends you want. You want those friends that you've had for a long time. Friendship is important. Positive human interaction is important. Well, they say no man is an island, but yet you can be an island. Now, I've said before, I don't know what loneliness feels like. I really don't. I mean, I could really, if I had everything I wanted, I really could go and just be cool being by myself. I don't get bored doing nothing. Doing nothing is fine for me. I can sit and do nothing, and that's fine. But I don't know what loneliness feels like. I've never felt that in my life where I was like, well, goddamn, I wish somebody would come over and, just sit there. I wish somebody would call me. I don't trip when my children don't call me. I don't trip on that. I've done my job for them, and that's all I could do. They answer when I call. If they don't, I don't take it one way or another. My mother gets upset when she calls my children and they don't answer. It gets her upset. It doesn't get me upset. I look at it as, that's all right. I understand. Oh, Blue Marvel, 9. I took an aptitude test in college back in 91. My highest aptitudes are 1 mathematics, 2 music, and 3 communication. Blue Marvel, 9. Wow. That is deep. That is deep. I've said before, I took the Air Force test and they wanted me to join the Air Force. They was going to pay my scholarship. But I was like, when they said that, they couldn't adjust the basic training, I was like, nah, I got to be in camp, nigga. I want to play. I'm like, I want to play. If I don't go to camp, if I go to camp 2 weeks late, goddamn if I'm going to play. I'll be sitting another season, which would have gave me another season of eligibility, but that's not what you want. I got the most out of my 3 years. And I'm suffering for it now. My knee got issues. I got to get a knee brace. Where's this shit? Let's see if I can grab this shit. Yeah, for my right knee, my left knee, this works. And again, you've got the true little, they call them meniscus kind of holders. But I just don't think it gives my right knee enough support. I played pickleball and my knee's been bothering me ever since. So I got to get rid of this. It's good for my right knee, but not my left knee, but not my right knee. I think my right knee, I'm going to have to get an open patella sleeve. I think even to wear to walk, because I don't know. They said I had some, nothing they wanted to clean out though. So probably spurs is what they explained, and bone spurs around my knee. I've had my meniscus operated on. I've had both knees operated on, both knees scoped. So, and I've had the left, I've had injuries to both Achilles. I've had one replaced, but I had one heavily bruised. And not only heavily bruised, fucking played 3 days after. I couldn't walk the next day. It happened like a Tuesday. And, it's just, you look at timing and bad luck. Nigga, cleated me right on my Achilles. Like he ran up on me and his cleat went right into my Achilles. And looking at it after he did it, it was so bruised, they thought it was torn. And what did the trainer say? Son, if it's torn, you'll never run again. That's what he told me. And this must have been 81. And luckily it was just bruised. But the next morning I couldn't walk. I mean, where the football field from my dorm was like a 5-minute walk. Took me damn near an hour. And I shouldn't have went. I just shouldn't have went because I couldn't walk. I shouldn't have went. But I fucking took me 45 minutes. That's how bad I was injured. And I should have just, not went and let them come like, why ain't you come to play? I can't walk. But yet I still played. So, but I suffer today. Well, thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. I'll be back on Saturday. Yeah, I'll be back on Saturday. So come check me out. Doing nothing is known as fasting of the mind, according to Teus. There you go. join my Discord. If you want to come live with me Saturday, join my Discord. And then it's at Flint Pontiac. It's Discord, if just Flint Pontiac. And if you want to do Saturday, hit me up, email me, call me. I think you got my number, or email me. And maybe we can come on a little earlier, because I know the Waking one ain't gonna. She's in Atlanta and they're an hour ahead, I think. In Atlanta, an hour ahead. I don't think we're on the same time, so she's gonna want to go a little earlier. So if you want to come on, or anybody wants to ask questions, I have the Discord open now, but I'm about to close it out. But if any of you want to come on Saturday on Discord and talk or ask questions, it'll be open. So I just closed it down now. So, all right. Thank y'all.